And that's one of the things that we talk about a lot is that we freaking walk around with so many damn masks. Even in our own household, we walk around with these masks. And I want our guys to like feel, bro, like everything you're running from is what's going to help you.
Connect with us on the Emotion Wellness Podcast for a transformative journey of human connection. Witness personal stories, improve your mental health education, and acquire valuable resources for optimizing your well-being. And visit emotionwellness.com for more information.
Welcome to the Emotion Wellness Podcast. My name is Jason Turner, and I am here with my good friend, Mr. Frank Parisi.
I'm here, guys. We're here. It's a Monday, and I'm excited for our guest.
Yeah, I want to welcome you guys and introduce Antonio Santana with Frontline Nonprofit.
Yes, sir.
And Unbroken Podcast.
Yes, sir. And also Wellness Empowered.
All right, cool. We're going to give you, at the end, we'll give you all kinds of opportunity to make sure you know where to find
Plug it in. So everyone knows where to find you.
We'll drop it in the, we're new to this, but we're getting better.
We're getting
every show.
Get it,
dude.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you came back. We just met, what, was it Friday, Thursday? Last Thursday?
I think it was Monday, dude.
Last Monday. Yeah,
we
it was
did the
last
podcast
Monday.
with Sunny.
Yeah.
Had an amazing conversation, and we're like, we got to talk more and collaborate. So
Yes, sir.
You came back, and your story's absolutely captivating. The mission that you're on is incredible, and I really just would like to focus on those two things for sure, and then anything else you want to cover. But man, what you're doing, what you've created. How that came to be for you.
Yeah.
You're all very powerful. You're incredible artist. You shared some poetry with us this week, so it was really amazing. So.
Just overall amazing human being, and very
Appreciate
grateful
it,
to have you, on the podcast, and actually not to form a relationship with you.
Yeah.
First, I gotta just say thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Big time. Both you guys, I have massive respect for just for that alone. I'd never served, but I love my veterans, brother. So.
Oh, man. Appreciate that.
Hats off.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you for having me, man. When you reached out to me, I met you through Rachel. I think what you're doing and stuff like that, it's inspiring, my man. It is super inspiring. And then sitting down with y'all yesterday and hearing you talk about what you're building here, like, it's so down my alley, bro. Like, seriously, like, I think we look at the system, how it is nowadays, and it's so broken, and we're losing too many guys to suicide, especially our veterans and stuff like that. We see now, suicides in first responders, and especially police officers, going up, and nobody really doing anything to solve the issue. And if they are doing something to solve the issue, it's all within the realm of what it looks like, what they feel it should look like, right? So me and Jason talked about this, and I said, I'm a disruptor, man. Like, I look at the system, and not in like I want to fit with the system. I want to change the system, because that's the only way that we're going to find healing for our guys.
Absolutely.
And I think too, you're in this situation that I'm guessing, right, is that, and I know a little bit about your story, but you become that a lot of times when you needed the system to show up for you, and it didn't.
Yeah. Right. We were just talking about this outside. When I got out of law enforcement, I went to VA to get help. And if it wasn't because I wanted to be a better father, if it wasn't because I wanted to be a better husband, then I would have left. Because the first thing they were telling me was like, hey, you're not going to have therapy for another 3 months. The only thing we can do right now is shove pills down your throat. So to me, it was like, okay, you're going against what I want to do. Like, I want to heal, bro. I want to process through the things that I've been running away from. And the only thing that you want to do is numb me further. And that to me was like an awakening to me. Is like, wow, like, how, if I didn't have my wife and my kids that I wanted it to be better for, I would have just walked out the door. And how many of these guys have done that? How many have they walked through that door and then all of a sudden just like, well, yeah, I tried. I'm going to walk out because the way that y'all are trying to treat me is not what I want.
Well, hey, you know this, man. The act of walking in the door is
the hardest part
for so many people, especially for men who have been acculturated in a system and a profession where those things are not only liabilities, but can get your primary duty weapon suspended, and like the act of walking in is takes so much courage and so much willingness, and then you get there and you're waiting with anticipation and you're nervous and you're freaking out in your head and you're like, and then they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna take 3 months. Not only that, here's the thing that pisses me off. Not only are they going to take 3 months to get you the services that you need, they're not going to refer you to a program like us that is saying, hey, we'll take them. We'll put on an immersion event for you. We'll do all the work. I will take the lead on that. They still won't refer to us. Yeah. You know, it's bullshit.
It is.
Yeah. To me, man, I saw that problem. So I was in the United States Marine Corps, the 2 combat tours, got out. I was in law enforcement for 10 years. But the thing about it is that, and I tell this to a lot of people, there was a lot of issues that I had already been facing prior to that, even me getting into the military. Like I had a very, very shitty childhood. And so I went into the military already with my rucksack already on. And one of the things that I learned, especially in a Hispanic household, is shut up and continue to push forward. And whatever you're going through, just shove it in your pack. Went into the military, same concept. Yeah. You know, it's the same thing. Just shut up and continue to push forward. The mission's the most important, all of that. And I just continued to carry this pack, right? And just filled with so many trauma, pain, whatever the hell you want to look at it. Went into law enforcement, same concept. So I remember that, like, I was about to get out from law enforcement. Well, I guess you can say, like, I really didn't know that I was going to get out, but I had a year before I got out, I was driving back home from work, and everything that I had helped me try to stop me from ever taking that last step was completely gone. All of a sudden, all of those voices, all of that pain, all of that was sitting on my chest, and all of those voices were just roaring. It wasn't a whisper anymore, it was a fucking roar. So I remember I pulled over to the side of the road, and I remember I pulled out my service pistol, and nothing inside of me wanted to stop. Everything just wanted to go. And I remember that when I grabbed it, and I was sitting there thinking about what I was going to do, grabbed the service pistol, about to pull it up to my head. My wife sent me a picture of my daughter. And what the biggest thing I always tell people about this, what I realized right there and then, is that this pain, this anguish, all of this crap that I have on my chest right now will not be gone. It would just be transferred over to my kids. It would be transferred over to my wife and all of this thing. So this pain, this anguish, everything that we're going through right now doesn't end. It just continues in a different form. And I think a lot of our guys realize that at that time, they're not properly thinking about what's going to happen after that happens. All they're thinking about, this pain, this chest, this weight, they just want to remove it. That's what they're thinking about. And I remember that I got home that after that, and I remember I walked up, and the first thing I heard, Daddy's home. And I remember that I went upstairs, and I was going to school at that time, and I cried like crazy, because I'm like, they don't know what I just attempted to do. And I remember when I went back downstairs, and like after that I walked downstairs, and I looked at my daughter, I looked at my wife, and I felt like they knew that I did that, like it smelled on me. And I remember that, like I hugged my kids, hugged my daughter, hugged my wife. Never told them about it. And it was about a year after that, like I got out of the military, I got out law enforcement. And it wasn't until I was about to be on the Black Rifle Coffee podcast to talk about my book that I realized I talked about it on the podcast, and I was like, I finally need to tell my wife about this. And I remember I told her, and it's like, I knew something was wrong. I just didn't know it was like that, you know? And that's one of the things that we talk about a lot, is that we freaking walk around with so many damn masks. Even in our own household, we walk around with these masks. And I want our guys to like feel, bro, like everything you're running from is what's going to help you. If you're running away from your trauma, your pain, whatever it is, going to it is what's going to help you, not running away from it. And we've been told the way that you survive is by shutting up and not talking about it. surviving is not living.
Or you see a therapist and they try to protect you from it and they don't want to ruffle too many feathers.
Yeah.
And actually get you in there to do some feeling and get uncomfortable. And that's not necessarily just a training issue. A lot of times people who are working with people, it's uncomfortable for them.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I don't want to go there. And I feel, and it makes people feel uncomfortable. So hats off to the therapists who, you know, we have an amazing team here. I know lots of good therapists out there who are leaning into that discomfort and not making a decision for their patient that's like, oh, I'm going to feel uncomfortable, so I don't really want to bring that up.
Yeah.
Or what if you get too activated? Well, we want you activated. Like,
yeah.
You know, because that's what you're talking about. You got to feel it.
Yep.
You got to feel it. You got to move it through you because it stays stuck, right? And it just sits, like you said, your chest was just.
Bro, I think the biggest thing, man. So, like I told you, I had a shitty childhood. Sunday was Father's Day, yesterday. And my mom, she came down, and I asked her before she came down, I was like, hey, you go to church with me? And she was like, yes, I'll go. So I'm there, I'm standing in worship, and CBC is such an amazing church, man. Sitting there in worship, and I'm sitting next to my mom, and I'm praying, and I'm like thanking God for everything he's done in my life. And one of these big revelations, big thought in my head just came through. I'm like, here I am standing next to the person who made me doubt myself. Here I'm standing to the person who made me feel unloved, all of this stuff, whatever like that. But I'm like, why am I giving her that much power? Right? Like, why am I giving her that much power? God loves me. You know, this is the thing though, man. It's like, we don't push forward past what we're supposed to become, right? Because of ghost stories that we're told, that are being told to us. You know, these stories that our mind tells us that you're not enough, you're not loved, your parents didn't love you, all of this stuff. You can't do more than what this says, right? You grew up poor, you grew up all of this. Like, it doesn't matter, you're not going to push forward and all of that. But what's stopping you are these stories, are these ghost stories. That's what's stopping you. And that's why I say, like, where you find success is going into the unknown, going into these areas that are hard, right? So sat there next to my wife, next to my mom, whatever like that, and she looked at me while I was bawling and gave me a hug. And when I realized this, I was like, bro, I've given you too much, you know? And the thing about it, sometimes now I think about it, it's like she showed me love the way she knew how. Mm-hmm. She showed me what she was shown herself, right? So how can I hold that against her? Mm-hmm. So I know who I am. You know, I am highly favored by God. I am loved. I have a beautiful wife, beautiful kids. I have already won. I have already won. So why am I allowing ghosts to hold me back? So that's one of the things that I want to tell our guys. It's like, bro, you are allowing ghosts to ruin your life. You are allowing these ghosts to not help you, to not come in realization with the true person that God created you to be. That is it. So, sorry, man.
No, bro, I'm listening, brother.
We always say belief,
and I'm feeling you, brother. You know. I'm feeling you.
Yeah.
I always say belief is stronger than fact. And it's that belief system. There's a saying like, show me your patterns, I'll show you the belief you have about yourself.
Yeah.
And so I totally agree with you there. What I'm curious about the decision. So we were talking about before the show, right? It's like when someone experiences tragedy, crisis, like, you know, I was awarded a membership in the Tillman Foundation, right? So Pat Tillman's wife had this experience with her husband at the time where, you know, not to go too far into the story, but gets killed, military lies about it. Like it's a traumatic experience, right?
Yeah.
Not to mention all the dishonesty, because that's really where the trauma comes from, is like, it's not necessarily always the act, it's like the story and the meaning behind it. And then she creates this amazing foundation that supports incredible human beings and does good in the world. You were talking about the wife of the officer who passed, and then she turned in, you know, does this training. So you have now created this amazing, you know, you want to hear about the app and the, you know, your nonprofit's incredible and the work that you guys are doing. I'm curious, what was the When did you know you were going to do that?
I think, man, we have all of these little moments, I call them, and one of my friends, I never put a word behind it, but then one of my friends, she kind of helped me put a word behind it. We have these little God wink moments that I say kind of like push you into the path that you're supposed to be, right? So I mean, like, I never wanted not be a cop. I wanted to be a cop all my life, and all of a sudden, that happened. So I'm out, and then all of a sudden now I'm trying to figure out like who I am. Like, there's this huge part of you that leaves, that you feel gets taken away from you when you take that badge away, you take that uniform away. It's like, who am I now, right? Like, and I remember we started off as a podcast initially, talking about mental health services. Talking about mental health, talking about everything like that. And every individual that I spoke to, they were all right at the start of wanting to get help, but they were in fear of so many things. They were in fear of administration. They were in fear of like losing their clearance. There's so much fear. I was like, well, what if we created a program where we remove those fears, we remove those barriers, where they raise their hand and say, hey, I want to get help, and they get the help that they need. So it started off as an idea, put it together, and I've always had all the right people in place, right? Like, that's another thing, man. When you are in the right track, God's going to put the right people in your life to make that happen.
You talk
right?
about alignment all the time.
Yeah.
Alignment.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, even if you think you're not the right person for this, like I've had so many of those moments where it's like, I'm not the right person for this. I don't have the education for this. I don't know about the mental health services. I don't know about CBT, all of these things, whatever like that. But I understand pain. I understand darkness. I understand how it feels to be feeling like isolated, alone. I know that, right? I know those things. I have a PhD in that. But and when it comes to like certifications and all, I don't got that.
Yeah, but you're also a problem solver.
Yeah.
So it's not just about I have all this negative stuff that qualifies me. It's like you've been solving problems your whole life. Right? And so you've got now a mission and a passion. You identified a problem. There's no doubt in my mind that you would figure that out.
Well, so when we started, the police department here in San Antonio was having the highest suicide rate in the entire country.
Wow.
Yeah. And we're we're the 10th largest police department.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they were having the highest suicide rate. So when we got started, we started providing services for these guys. And we got an influx of people right off the bat, right? And when people ask me like, well, how is it that these cops felt okay to come and use your services, but they weren't willing to use their services, or they have all these other services, they're willing to use those? And I the only thing that I can attest it to is that I am very vulnerable with where I was at in my life, right? Yeah. I talk to people about my suicide. I talk to people about being a better father, be a better husband, all of these things, whatever like that, where I'm putting a voice behind what they are already feeling, right? So poetry was a big thing for me. So poetry to them, when they can't voice what they're feeling, they were able to find that within my words. So they felt comfortable coming to us. So within the first year, we got a bunch of police officers, veterans, first responders coming in, firefighters. We helped a lot of people. But then talking to those spouses who had lost their loved ones to suicide, I realized that there was a lot more that needed to be done here, right? So like my own personal story, after talking to a spouse that just lost her loved one, I started thinking about my story and seeing the struggles that she was going through and how her kids were every day missing their father. I was like, that would have been my wife. That would have been my kids right there. So it's like, how can I solve this problem? And you look at the system. This is why I always go back to the system. You look at the system for what it is. Proactive approach to suicide prevention. What is it? Everything in there that they have is all reactive in nature. It's all putting the pressure on the individual to make a judgment call at their worst. So how many of these guys have looked at the system and said, fuck, man, I can't make that call. I can't make that call. So I was like, why can't the system call you? when they start seeing triggers, when they start seeing you're going off balance, you're not sleeping as well, you're not doing all of this, why can't the system call you? So now we do have a proactive approach to suicide prevention. We're doing everything possible to get ahead of the problem before the problem becomes too big. So that's the reason why we created the app.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Phenomenal, brother. How long ago did you create the app?
2.5 years ago, man. Yeah. And I've the thing about it, it goes back to, you feel like you're not the right person for this, right? Like, I myself am like, I don't have a background in app development. I don't have all of these things. But that to me is the devil talking. That to me is the devil telling me you're not the right person. You're not good enough. This is not a good idea. It's like, well, why? Like, why am I getting attacked like this right now? Because you're onto something. Mm-hmm. You're onto something. That's the reason why.
You see that, right?
Yeah.
Me too.
I do. So many of the times, man, I've gone through like these moments that it's just like, I don't know if this is going to work. Like, I don't know if this is going to be good. And then all of a sudden I get one of these, like we met with some nurses on last Friday. And one of the things that they told us that they were on the app, whatever like that, they were like, I love that I'm able to check in with myself. I love that I'm able to know that there's somebody at the other end. If I need help, there's somebody there. I love that I am having somebody look out for me. Because I understand that. We'll have our guys reach out to them if they see we see triggers that are going off, they're not sleeping right. We reach out to them, make sure they're doing okay. Because all you need sometimes is just have somebody ask you, hey, how are you doing?
How you doing?
That's it.
Yeah. Or you don't look so good.
Yeah.
You want to talk? Yeah. That's being seen is powerful.
So, I mean, I feel like I've been talking a lot, man.
Dude, this is
a lot to say.
Yeah, well,
It's your show. We're here to ask the questions.
and about you.
Everybody knows about us.
Yeah. Seriously, man. I just love that, man. I tell this to one of my friends because she's a painter, and she has an amazing story. She was an addict before, and I just had her on the podcast. It's actually the episode that's airing right now. And I told her afterwards, I'm like, bro, she's like, oh, well, this and that, whatever like that. I was like, dude, we need more voices like you. Mm-hmm. We need more lights out in this darkness. Mm-hmm. We need more light to give everybody the understanding that I think one of the things when you're going through all of this crap is that you look at life as there's everything wrong, right? Everything is going wrong, all of this. And I tell everybody this, is like, fucking life is beautiful. Beautiful. But you can't see that if you have these sunglasses that have nothing but pain, trauma. You can't see the beauty of life, man.
Yeah.
I understand that. I grew up in trauma.
Yeah.
I lived the whole life, similar to you guys, But once we get to heal that, create new belief systems, create the new story instead of the old story that we told ourselves.
Yeah.
Oof. And you bring in the right support.
Yeah.
I had a beautiful contrasting experience recently that I think ties into what you just said. So, so Friday I had the San Antonio Police Department here, and I was filling out a police report because I helped a young guy who isn't doing so hot and, demonstrates concerning behavior. And so anyway, I was just doing what I had to do. I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it. And in that moment, there's this, a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, prior to having a very sharp blade that I can use to tackle the stories in my head. And, we use the Enlifted method here and Mark England's process. And it's an incredible way to deal with those beliefs, right?
Yeah.
That process. There would have been a lot of opportunity, I know, for myself to be like, man, like I made a huge mistake. And the story would be like, you're always giving too much, you don't have any boundaries. And, there's just this like long list of, and I was able to not have any of that and just be like, really, when I look at my life, the last 20 years of all, because there's a part of me that's like, and I said this and I was mad at myself for saying it. On Friday, I said that quote, no good deed goes unpunished, because I was like feeling it, and I'm like, man, why this dude's like reaching out to people, and he's telling people he created my program, just doing all this weird stuff, right? And it's just like it's a hassle, and it's and outside of whatever I feel about what's the situation, there's a young person who I really want to see get well, and he's not, right? And then at the same time, I had another guy here who I did the exact same thing for, who we met in Arizona when I was doing therapy there. And this guy comes in, spends 4 or 5 days, was in a really bad spot, was about to kill himself, spends 2 weeks with us, and
I got beautiful text messages
and
from
I
him,
got
by the
this
way.
from him.
Me too.
And it's not to I'm going to tie in why I'm saying this, but it said, hey brother, I said a ton of times while I've been out, but I really owe you my life with the way you showed up for me. I feel like I got part of myself back that I didn't even know was missing over these past few weeks, and I'm beyond grateful. It's not about like I'm being told by somebody that I saved their life. That's not the issue. The thing that I hone in on is this dude saying I got a piece of myself back. Like that's the magic, right? And that's what I want for people.
Yeah, of
and I
course.
was able to see that in all of my experiences from changing at 27 years old to that whatever I was back then to the true who I am at my core, because I think that's what recovery does. This recent scenario where the police had to get involved, it's like 0.1% of my outpouring. I've had 0.1% that went that direction. Yeah. But in the fucking moment, I'm like, oh my God, no good deed goes unpunished. It's like, no, dude, good deeds it feels good to do good deeds. And so I was able to dial that back, but I just wanted to touch, what you were saying.
That 0.1%. And this is one of the things that I've been telling a lot of the guys that I talk to is that, you'll have like a million things go right. You're helping so many people. You get these kind of text messages. You got people into therapy. You did all this, blah, 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 all of this stuff, right? Great things. One bad thing happens. Then all of a sudden it's like, fuck, I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough. I'm not being the person that I need to be. I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
So I had a friend of mine that it went like that for her. And I was talking to her, and she's like, I'm fucking up, Antonio. I'm doing this, I'm that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you're not. I was like, where would you have been a year ago if something like this happened? She's like, I probably would have been spiraled and gone, for a month, 2 months. I was like, it took you 2 weeks, a week to get out of it. It's the amount of time that you stay in this suck where you like crapping all over yourself, all of that, whatever like that, you're this, that, whatever like that. The less time, that's a progress, bro. Mm-hmm. That is progress. The less time you spend in that arena, in that area, and you're back at, I'm doing this, I'm helping, blah, blah, blah. That is progress.
Hell yeah.
Well, we have that conversation with our clients a lot too, where the reframe of for most substance use disorder patients, right, the metric is abstinence. And so when what commonly happens, which is someone returns to a use or they get overwhelmed and they haven't put enough new resources on board, right? They go back to the thing that worked.
Yeah.
There's this immediate sense of failure and it's all gone. And so we started to have these conversations at the center where it's like, wait a minute. So last year, what was your use like? Well, I used daily. Okay. This year, what's it been like? Well, I've used 5 times this year. So for someone who's like going after abstinence, 5 relapses is major, right?
Yeah.
Can create a lot of damaging reasons to create a good story, right? Or a really bad story.
Right.
And when it's so interesting because it's like a perspective they've never heard.
Yeah.
Like, wait, you only used 5 times this year and you were using every day last year? Sounds like you're making really incredible progress.
My biggest fear, and I don't know if y'all have had it, because I know all of y'all are sober. I've been 2.5 years, almost 3 years sober now. But my biggest fear, and I've gone to, when I sleep, whatever like that, I have these nightmares of me using again, right? Me drinking again. My main focus was alcohol. And I've had nightmares of me drinking, right? And like, I'm scared of becoming that person again, right? As much as you're telling me what you just stated is true. It's true. If I go back to have a drink, whatever like that, it's not going to be the end of the world. But I think what I'm scared of is the person that I'm going to become again, right? That is the fear. But I had a friend of mine, and I love that he said this. He said, every person that you were are all important in the story.
Absolutely.
So not you, the person that you were before, the person that dealt with alcohol, all of this stuff, all of those people are important to make you the person that you are today. So you can't forget and you can't be in fear of all of those people. You have to embrace them and let them come into your house. And that is going to give you a better understanding of who you are as a person, where you are at now. So instead of having fear, just have this knowledge that you've moved past so many levels of yourself.
Absolutely.
Right?
I would ask you too in that, a lot of our clients will have dreams initially about that. And they get freaked out, right? And I had one. I've only had one, and I mean, it was over 20-something years ago, and I remember it like it was yesterday. Yeah. But what's interesting is, if you ask yourself this question, what does it mean about you that you basically had a nightmare that you used? Like, what does that mean about you?
So it means that I value my sobriety so much.
Yeah, it's like, I'm this person, right? I always ask people, how many dreams were you having when you were drinking about being an amazing human being and sober and living the life? We weren't dreaming like that, right? We were in this place of, really negative frequency and energy.
Yeah. So it all goes back to when I say the ghosts, right? These ghosts that follow you, these things that you tell yourself, all of that, whatever like that. I think these ghosts, especially of alcohol, because of the person that you became when you had it. Like for me, the person that I wasn't a mean alcoholic. I was a pretty happy alcoholic, whatever like that. I was a working alcoholic. The thing is that I was a shitty father. I was a shitty husband. And I think that is where I don't want to go back to being that person. Yeah. I see my girls, the hardest, the biggest problem that I have right now, and I want to ask you, Frank, about this.
Yeah.
The hardest part that I have right now is knowing your purpose, knowing your mission, and still being able to be a good father. My purpose and my mission is what I'm doing now, but it takes a lot of me. It takes a lot of conversations. It takes a lot of meetings. It takes a lot of this that I can't be 100% present with my family. So how are you able to do that? Because I see you, bro, like you're everywhere. How is it that you're able to be able to manage that?
At times things get sacrificed, like I have a responsibility to Jason and emotion, I have other responsibilities. My main focus is one thing I want to wake you up to is your purpose is helping, definitely. But maybe is it possible that your purpose is even bigger than that? Like hearing from what I've heard from you, you remind me a lot of me. Yeah. Coming from, I guess, wasn't born into wealth. Yeah. I come from the streets. But I find for me, and maybe this is something for you to think about, like my purpose, it is to help humanity. But really, like for me, like I'm the one in my family to change the DNA, dog. Like you're the one in your family, from what you're telling me, to be like, and you got to prioritize stuff. Like at times there's going to be where like, dude, like I get phone calls all the time. I had a heart transplant patient call me Saturday night, like 9 o'clock at night. Like I get DM, like I got a guy in Jersey right now that needs treatment from TikTok. Like I am answering the phone all the time, but like when it's baseball time for Sonny, I had to separate from Jason. We were supposed to go shooting, but I had to be there for my son to coach the baseball team. Yeah. So I have to like prioritize certain things, like business stuff. Like we have to handle our business. Yeah. But when it's family time, like I have to prioritize the family time. I don't let other obstacles get in the way of family time, dude.
I love that you said that, man.
Yeah. And my job as his brother and partner is to validate that.
Dude, I fucking love you, dude. I know you do, because you called me and like he's like, "Go, dude," and it's like that's why this is so beautiful here, dude. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's like as soon as he said, I'm like, nothing's more important than that. We'll get back, because we can make anything in the emerging time like, I need this right now. Yeah. It's like, no, it's not. You're with your kid. Call me when you're done, and when you're ready, and we'll take care of it. And also reminding, like, we all need reminders, and that's where the choices, I started to get really, and I don't have kids, but I think this will help you, and I think you're already doing it, even if you haven't thought about it. The decisions that I make about who gets my energy in my circle. I've had a lot of meetings where I was like, this is fucking bullshit and I don't want to be here. But like and I'm not talking about the people I help either, because they can be, I'm real clear on when I'm helping somebody, that's not this, my circle. I've decided there's very limited people in that circle, and I have a very high standard, and they all meet it, which is they celebrate the wins always. There's, we remind each other of our greatness. Like that phone call, that message I sent you, we do that shit all the time. I'll just pick, we do it within each other. Where, I called Frank on Sunday and reminded him that he was the best dad I've known.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. It's like, or
it made me feel so good in the middle of me coaching. I'm like, I'm coaching my son's game. He's like, of course you are.
And the other thing I do with him a lot, and I do it with my friends, and I can't help it, and I'm grateful that I'm like this, is that I pay attention to language a lot. So he said something the other day on a text about his son being, something about him being so amazing. And I was like, yeah, but don't ever forget why, Like that's the deal. Like we don't, because we're not used to celebrating ourselves. You just highlighted it, man. It's like the one thing goes wrong, I'll fucking myopically focus. I got my scope on that. I can hit a bullseye on that every single time. And then I'm like, hey, when's the last time you celebrated your win? What? Celebrate wins? Like we do that in story work. Yeah. It's not just about getting unstuck. It's like celebrate the win. And you get a lot of people will come into your life and not even mean it. I used to think it was like I go black and white, right? Like if you're not supporting me, you're against me. And that's not the case at all. What a lot of people don't even know is like when I was growing up, the big thing was, big boys don't cry. That's a very damaging, but not maliciously intended statement, right? It's on par with this one. Don't let it go to your head, but you're doing really good. Like, what? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? But how many times do you experience that?
I get you. Man, I love that message you sent me, for one, bro, that hit hard. And let me tell you one thing, man. I am the person to send those messages. I send people those messages. Like I have a couple of friends of mine. So I love what you're saying, because I have shrunk my circle so much. Yeah. So much. Because the thing about it is that I have so much to give, but if I'm giving it to the wrong people, it feels as if you're just taking and not giving back, bro. I want relationships that give and take. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm okay if you taking, but as long as you're giving me something, bro. And I'm not talking about monetary. I'm not talking about any of that. Just showing up, giving me words of affirmation, giving me encouragement to continue what I'm doing, stuff like that, bro. That is what I need.
Absolutely.
My wife, when I was talking to my daughters about this, like they're like, "Oh, but what do you want, Daddy?" I was like, "I don't need anything, bro. Like all I need is for y'all to tell me that I'm doing a good job. All I need is for y'all to." My daughter did a little video for me saying like, "Oh no, you're this, and this, whatever like that," and then you're the best dad in the world. That's all I need. Mm-hmm. I don't need no gifts. All I need is for you to tell me that I'm doing a good job for you.
Of course.
Because for us as men, we don't hear that a lot, bro. Yeah. We don't hear that. Yeah. And I think I love that you are that way, bro, because that's how I am. I tell people all the time, guys all the time, like if I love them, I love you, bro. Of course. I love you, man. And at the beginning, it was a little weird for me because I'm telling another man I love him, but then it got to the point. It was like, I had one of my friends, I told him, I was like, bro, I love you. I value your friendship. I value everything you do for me. All of the words of affirmation you give me, all of that, blah, blah, blah. I ended up seeing him at the gym, and he was like, bro, you don't even know how much I needed to hear that. Yeah. You don't even know how much I needed to hear that. Thank you for those words, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I do love that you're like that, bro, because that's I've been searching for more people like that. Yeah.
It's amazing what a mission and your purpose will do for your social circle. You know what I mean? You get real clear. When I committed and I was all in on me and what I knew I needed to do, and I don't mean that selfishly, just all in on like, I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to make a difference and I'm going to level up the care in San Antonio by being the best program and force other programs to take notice. I'm going to help as many people as possible. I got real picky about who was in my circle. Whereas before, you ain't got shit going on.
I know.
You tend to waste time.
Yeah.
So
And
I'm with you on that.
I love that you said that, because that is true. Is you need to have purposeful people in your life, right? People that are going to give you, encouragement, give you all of these things, whatever. You can have all these people in your life, and it looks like you're very, very popular, but they're not giving you anything to help. You know what I'm saying?
Brother, I do. I went through it. Yeah. After my heart transplant and then business.
Yeah.
I saw. And that's when I started to move through only alignment with people. No more wasting time.
Dude, when he was
no more wasting time.
The last job he had, right? The top producer. If you're in our industry, in where he was at, you know what he can do for a business. So when he was released, there was no shortage of opportunity. He's one of those guys where, like, when he loses a job, which is rare, it's like they just roll in.
Yeah.
And I watched him go through, and I think a lot of people, when you have a guy like, I think any of us, but when I look at Frank's life, it's real easy to make up a story, because everything he does can touch upon the insecurity of a person who's undisciplined, who's not taking care of them, because it was a fucking reminder of what you're not doing, right? Yeah. So there's a lot of hate, there's a lot of gossip, and I was this wasn't like something that he concocted after the effect to go, oh, I'm going to become this dude. Like, I was talking to him when he found out about his heart situation. I watched him in the hospital take on the whole persona of, why not me? What's this gift, right? I watched you walking those patients around that was from day one. And so the idea that when he talks about this right now, the truth is, he said to himself, well, okay, I got the lesson. I'm seeing what took place and what these people have done, and I'm going to make some changes. And he started to really look at, like, if I'm going to do business with you, I got to want to have you around my family, right? Like, if we're going to do business,
seriously,
who's going to? Because I think
who am I going to die with?
It put into perspective for you, right? Mortality was real. I mean,
real.
Having died.
Right? What men are going to be around my son? I didn't like any of the men that were around my bed. There was very handful of them. And then they showed their true colors on everything. Near-death experiences will show you truth of who shows up, dog. And then you see business, and you really see who shows up. And then you can make decisions based on that. And then who gets my time and who doesn't. And it's when it comes to service, you get my time. But when it comes to circle, it's very small. It's all through alignment, purpose, mission, and like the legacy I'm leaving, because like as the people that I'm bringing into my life also not just influencing my life, they're influencing my son's life. Yeah. So like, who are the men that I want to be around my son?
And there's a pace. It's a pace. There's not like a 2-week shine.
Oh no.
You know, this is what I'm getting at is in that circle, right? You're like this, I'm like this. Like, whoever's in it has to keep up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And help fulfill the mission.
Yeah.
Because I'm on a mission from God. And like, we're not just hanging out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and like, you want to have fun with me. We're on a mission. So let's like support each other on the mission. And maybe it looks like, bro, I love you, I'm grateful for you. But if you're not even pouring into nothing, I'm talking about like, dude, I'm having people at my house for Christmases and Easters, and everything gets cut out of my life and no one even calls to see how I'm doing. That's wild.
My man.
And I'm supposed to be in your life? No, man, no more. You know? And I wish you the biggest feast. Just eat at that table. You're never allowed at my table again. You know?
So much of what you're saying, bro, is spot on, bro. Yeah. With me. Like, I have realized that I need more. I don't know if y'all have this, but I can't have at surface conversations.
No.
I can't have
bro. I don't care about
all.
LeBron James.
I don't count.
You know what I mean? Like, I hang out and watch it, but like, no. I want to know how you're doing, bro. How can we help each other? How can we level each other up? How can we support one another?
That is right there, man. Dude, there's not a lot of guys like that. I am 100%, 100 miles an hour, deep conversations all the time. I feel I am not an introvert at all. I'm an extrovert. I'm an introvert, extrovert, whatever like that. But when it comes to at surface conversations, I feel like an introvert. Like I don't feel I don't feel
it's a waste of time.
Yeah, it's a waste of time.
Yes.
So yeah, I feel you on that, man. Like I definitely love having deep conversations. I love hearing like what makes you tick. I love knowing how you got to where you're at, because I can use whatever you've gone through in your life to be able to benefit my life as well. And that's what I'm talking about. It's like having that understanding with that other individual. Like, you're going to pour into me, but I'm going to also pour into you as well. So it's not just a one-way street here. It's we're going to get this together, and we're going to become better people together. Right? That's how I look at things.
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah.
The rising tide raises all boats, bro. You know? Yeah, as we continue to evolve and elevate, so does everyone around us. You know? And that's why it's so important, I say, when you bring in, like Jason Stain, keeping it at high standards, because when we're moving in the same vibration and frequency, you move a lot further and a lot faster. Together.
We just joke around, but I got no assholes policy, man. Like, I just do. I won't do business with assholes. I don't care if it's a vendor. I don't care if it's a piece of a software that I need. Like, I just won't.
Yeah.
I'll go somewhere else. And I feel like God, the universe, energetically, I'll find what I need. It's like I don't go into that place of like, oh, this is the only place I can get this, so I got to get. No, fuck you. I'm not doing that.
You know what's crazy is I was talking to my tattoo artist yesterday. Like, I view life now completely different, right? Like, I feel like everybody's interconnected, right? Like, we're in this source of energy, and I'm not one of those yogis or anything like that, whatever like that, bro. But I seriously, like, I look at things in a different form, a different view now. Like, it's like, or all these forms of energy that we're all, extracting, putting out, whatever like that. It's like, what energy are you putting out, right? And if your energy matches my energy and my frequency, let's vibe together, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I'm at.
Me too.
Yeah. That's a totally a Frank thing.
Yes. That's my thing, bro. I'm open, dude. It's all about vibration and frequency. We're magnetic beings. I always stay curious to things, especially when, like, there is that.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see where it goes, because sometimes it's God telling us something.
I think God puts people in your life to give you a different perspective that maybe you did not have, or that also gives you a help, right? And to push you in the right. It's like I said, I've always had
to help the mission.
Yes, to help the mission.
Absolutely,
right?
brother.
So yeah, I'm really. I had an event. Was it like 2 weeks ago? It was an art event, right? And so, like I said, I'm a poet. And I believe in art, man. I believe art is a combination of bringing in your child version of you and the adult version of you and putting it together, whatever like that, to make you a better person, right? That's how I look at art, man. And I have a lot of friends, man, and I have a lot of like gym friends, poetry friends, all this stuff, whatever like that. And one of my buddies, and I love him, man, but he was like, man, he's like, you have a wide variety of friends, don't you? And I was like, yeah, I do. And he was looking at some of the guys there, and I was like, bro, I don't judge people, bro. Everybody's in their own journey. Everybody's in their own thing. Nobody's trying to put their own beliefs on me. I'm not trying to put my beliefs on them. As long as you accept that, like, you're good, right? But the thing about it is that I want to combine, and I'm going to put together another event. It's going to be a poetry slam, and it's going to be art, whatever like that. But the thing about it is that I want veterans to know that, and I don't know if you had this, but we get into this space where we think nobody else can understand what we're going through unless they served. Man, I have sat across the table with so many individuals, never served, never were a police officer, any of that, and we find so many similarities in our stories. I think for us as vets, we need to get out of this thought that nobody else understands us that has not served or has put that uniform. There's a lot of similarities in your story that are maybe completely different from that other individual. Yeah, he might not have been faced with rounds down range, but maybe he faced a car accident. Maybe they faced a sexual abuse, whatever like that. And so those feelings that you're going through of isolation, of not feeling good enough, all of these things are the same feelings that she's going through. So it's like the stories are completely freaking different, but the emotions that are attached to those stories are the same. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. And once we're able to open up and be vulnerable, it just breeds connection, brother.
Yeah. It gives people an understanding that they're not alone, man.
They're not alone.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Speaking of not alone in the mission to get your mental health back online, we've talked about you had the podcast Unbroken, the app.
Yeah.
And then briefly share with us about Frontline.
So Frontline, we provide free mental health services to veterans, first responders, and their family members. We provide 12 sessions per individual. We also provide 3 couples therapy, and then we provide 12 sessions per that individual afterwards, after they're done with their couples therapy. We've helped out about 360 plus individuals with free therapy sessions. We've helped with this new program, like I said, art is a big thing for me. We just launched a art program where we're going to provide art lessons for children so that they can utilize what they learned, in therapy, whatever like that. They can utilize it into art, have a tool in the tool chest, whatever like that, to be better. But we're about to have 5 kids that we're about to sponsor for that. But I think to me is like, what our nonprofit has done, has given people the understanding that they don't have to jump through hoops to be able to get the care. I've had one individual tell me, they're like, so you don't ask for DD-214? You don't ask for a ID? I'm like, so many of our guys, they have even that simple of getting your DD-214 or getting your ID, that can be a barrier for them, right? So I just want to provide a space for them where they can come in and they're like, oh, you want to get help? All right, bro, just fill out. I still got to have them do a application, which is like 6 questions, but it's like, that's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything else. Just fill this questionnaire. That's it. And then we'll reach out to you. So we've had individuals get into therapy as short as a day to as long as a week.
Amazing.
But that is way better than what the system has in place right now.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, so we partnered up with therapy groups here in San Antonio. We have another one in Austin, Dallas, and Houston. And it's just individuals that believe in the mission, believe in what we're doing, and then we vet them and make sure that they know how the profession, for one, they know about veterans and first responders and their lives and stuff like that. And then they're a part of our provider group.
Amazing.
It's incredible.
Incredible, bro.
Yeah.
Where can you be found? So
our podcast is only online on YouTube. I mean, so if you go on Unbroken Podcast, Frontline Strong, Unbroken Podcast on YouTube, that's our podcast. Instagram, Frontline Strong, and then I'm on TikTok also. I think it's Antonio Poet or something. So, but yeah, find me on those.
And what we'll do is when we edit and put the show out, I'll get all those links from you, so we have them in text and stuff. So
yeah,
I feel like that'd be good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have any other?
Nah, man, bro. Thank you for everything that you do.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, seriously, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
you're a phenomenal human being. Phenomenal human being.
There's
bro.
that. There's the frequency. There's a lot of alignment here.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping we can work together. I'm very interested in your app, and but more so just interested in you as a human being, and
Appreciate it, brother.
adding to the community.
Yeah, man.
I think if I could just leave one last message for everybody is like, don't allow ghosts to stop you from becoming the person you're supposed to be. Everything that you are running from is what you need to run to become the person that you're meant to be. I have realized in the last 2.5 years that everything that I was running from were the keys to make me the person that I am today. God gives you a story, and this is the beautiful thing about what God does, man. He gives you a story. You could hit rock effing bottom, but as long as you pick yourself back up, go freaking run to the effing storm, get past that, you'll become the person you're supposed to be.
Yeah, you will, bro.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, man.
Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for connecting with us on today's episode of the Emotion Podcast, where we discuss all things mental health. Connect every week as we explore incredibly intimate stories of persistence and hope. Delve into mental health education and explore valuable resources. Available on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And visit emotionwellness.com for more information.